Unparalleled. Israeli army raids Ramallah, more occupied West Bank cities. Israeli forces also seized 2.5 million from money exchange shops in largest operations in area since October. This is literally like they just went in and robbed their banks. Israeli forces have launched their most intense raids yet on cities in the occupied West Bank as they pressed on with one of the largest incursions in the territory since Israel's war on Gaza began in October. At least one person was killed after Israeli troops launched a coordinated overnight assault on 10 cities, including Hebron, Halul, Nablus, Jenin, Tulkarem, El Bareh, Jericho, and notably the center of Ramallah, which is the administrative headquarters of the Palestinian Authority. Hang on, I thought Israel wants another state. I thought they want the two-state solution. I thought they don't have a partner in peace. Oh, really? They're attacking the Palestinian Authority, the credible alternative to Hamas? That's amazing. It's almost like they don't want to build up a credible authority in the West Bank or Gaza. The raids, which continued until early on Thursday morning, targeted Palestinian money exchange outlets. Quote, "This was a raid like we haven't seen in the center of Ramallah like no other. Since October 7th, we haven't seen a raid of this size," Al Jazeera's Imran Khan said, reporting from near the scene on Thursday. He said the unparalleled raid began at 1 a.m. on Thursday and lasted for about 4 hours, with at least 20 vehicles entering Ramallah. Israeli forces used tear gas and stun grenades to clear a street and then blocked off the area before using a controlled explosion to enter a money exchange shop, Khan added. The Palestine Monetary Authority said Israeli forces raided the headquarters of 6 exchange companies under its control across the occupied West Bank at dawn. Quote, "The Israelis arrested a number of the owners of these companies and seized sums of money from their safes after blowing them up," it said in a statement, adding that it considers the attack, quote, "an act that violates all international norms, laws, charters, and agreements, and aims to undermine confidence in the Palestinian banking sector." Okay, so you understand, this isn't about Hamas. This is about continuing the policy that Israel has had for 75 years of making life impossible in these territories for the Palestinians, with clearly the underlying attitude that once they have seized these territories, it'll be a fait accompli, as with the Native Americans in our own land, and people can make, Dances with Wolves kind of films about the Palestinians later. They won't care because by then they'll have what they want.
Right.
So we're
in
going
100 years, this is our original sin. We're sorry.
Sorry
How
about
could
that.
we? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. So this is a bit of the Al Jazeera news report mentioned in the article.
The raid in Ramallah, the largest that we've seen in a very long time, started around 1 a.m. in the morning. What the Israeli army did is they came down a street just over there. They started using tear gas and sound grenades to then clear the street. Then they took over the street here with at least 20 armored vehicles, including armored personnel carriers. Now, I was witnessing all of this from my hotel balcony just up there. And what they did next was they went into this money exchange place. Let me just take you inside.
He's going to take us inside, but I want to pause it for a second. You could see there's that circle on the wall, and some people are blocking the view that says MoneyGram. So this is basically just like a shop with like a Western Union type money wiring service in it. Look at this gangster shit. They chainsaw the door and just go in and take the money.
What they did was they cut this door here, and then they went inside. And they actually raided a safe inside here, just below there. But you can see the massive amount of damage that's included. All this glass is from the glass frontage of this shop. So what the Israelis are saying is that they designated 5 different locations, 3 here in Ramallah, and one in Tulkarm, one in Jenin, as being terrorist financing organizations. The Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, actually signed that deal, and that's when all of these coordinated raids happened. Now, once they'd raided this, they actually went into Ramallah and raided two more shops. There was very intense clashes going on. One Palestinian died and at least 15 others were injured. Now, the clashes took place over a period of about 5 hours. Eventually, when the Israeli army did withdraw, they still came under clashes even as they were leaving. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera, Ramallah.
So they could just say that we think that these money exchange locations are being used for ill purposes. Right. So we're just going to saw open the door, go in, and take the money. Like, right. You're allowed to do that. That's a violation of international law, as that article goes on.
Well, the occupation itself is a violation of international law. They are taking advantage of Gaza the same way that we took advantage of 9/11 to push agendas that have long been there under the cover of October 7th as a pretense. They are trying to take advantage of the opportunity that the chaos of the war and the coverage of the war presents to, on the other side, also make life unlivable for people in the West Bank. They're just trying to take all of this territory, which, if you look at the map that has gone around quite a bit, where you can see the Palestinian areas shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink over the last 75 years. This has been a almost century-long tactic of the Israeli government to just gradually squeeze the Palestinians out of these areas by any means necessary.
Yep. And this is the West Bank. So now we're supposed to believe that this is legitimate retaliation or counterterrorism work when you're raiding a region with no Hamas presence, right. And you are based on a claim that, just like many other claims that they've made over the past few months and over the past several years, but specifically over the past few months in the context of this conversation, you have not provided any evidence for. Right. You're just saying what? Oh, we think that there are exchanges here between people who are trying to harm us, so we chainsaw the door open and steal all the money, $2.5 million worth of money. People probably, not probably, they do. These MoneyGram centers, these Western Union centers, you hear a lot of times, living in New York, you would see immigrant families make money, and that's how they would wire money back to their families.
All over the place here.
Yeah, right. It's not technically a bank, but it functions as a bank for a lot of the people there. What, you could just go and do that kind of damage because you make a claim that you provide no evidence for? Who is going to hold them to that? Right? Who's going to investigate that? Who's going to follow up with them on that? You have
not us.
Matthew Miller say, it's a shame that journalists are being hurt. We told Israel that it was messed up about that Reuters journalist in Lebanon that was killed 2 months ago. Since then, they've killed almost 100 more. We haven't done anything. We haven't even gotten to the bottom of the case that I just gave you as an example. So what? There's going to be any rectification of this, any justice for this, any reconciliation of this? Of course not. Of course not. It's just a free-for-all.
Right. And we showed the other night that the part of that CNN report where you got an old woman has to walk over an hour to get back to her house because they blocked a road. It should be a 5-minute walk when she goes to the store. It's just it's apartheid. It's just constant humiliation, degradation, in order to just drive these people out, to make the conditions so intolerable that they will leave. And this should really, what they're doing in the West Bank should put an end to any talk that what they're doing has anything to do with Hamas or that they have any interest in a Palestinian state.
Please clap.